You just found out that someone that you love was diagnosed with cancer and you want to help them in whatever way that you can, and you're feeling helpless and powerless. Hopefully, this video will help you come up with some ways that you personally will be able to help your person that you love get through this. Number one, think very deeply about ways you can help. Some people are not great at checking in. They have very busy schedules. They know that they can't do a lot of in-person helping, or maybe they're far away. So what they can do, I've had a friend offer to set up a GoFundMe, and it was very hard for me to accept that help, but I was so glad that I did. It enabled me and my partner and my family to handle my treatments and my surgery uh, in ways that were a lot less stressful. For instance, I used the money from my GoFundMe to help me pay for childcare since we did not have childcare or help in the area, so that my partner could be there for me more often and so that I could recover. I was also lucky enough to have a friend who was able to help me with childcare. Sometimes when we are going through this, we don't want to ask for help. And sometimes we need someone who's going to come in and say, hey, what is your plan for surgery? I'm going to be there for you. I think that your husband or your partner, or you should have a support person there with you at surgery. And I did not want to accept that help. And some people are that way. And we need people to step in and say, I'm going to be there for you. Tell me what to do. I will take the day off. I am there for you. I had a friend that did that for me, and I will forever be eternally grateful. It was so important. I was more afraid than I wanted to admit, and it meant so much to me. There's so many ways that you can help. You can set up a meal train. I will say meal train guidelines. I will remind you, if this person is going through chemo first and radiation, then the chances are you're actually setting up the meal train for their family because they're not going to eat a whole lot. If it is indeed also for them, or if they don't have a family and you're setting it up for them, then you're going to want to focus on soups, protein shakes, gift cards, so that they can get said things, grocery deliveries, things of that nature are going to be very helpful for someone going through chemo, because oftentimes the biggest toll it takes on you is making you really tired and nauseous, and a focus on protein can really help you recover more quickly and can help you get through chemo a lot better than you would have had you not focused on those things. Um, Childcare is a really big one. If your friend has children, if you can offer to watch their children for any amount of time, or their pets, or if there's anything you can do for them, helping to clean their house, anything to help relieve the stress of them being unable to accomplish tasks that they were able to do earlier, is going to be helpful. And once again, sometimes you need someone, instead of saying like, hey, do you need help with these things? It's, in my opinion, more helpful for you to say, I'm at the grocery store. I'm already here. What do you need? I am near your house, or I'm getting off work and I want to come and do something for you so that I can feel better and so that I can sleep at night knowing that I did something to help you. Can I come over and clean your house? Can I come over and clean your bathroom? Can I come and bring you something, a treat? What about a milkshake? Is there anything that I can do to make you feel good? Those things are the best thing you can do to help your loved one who's going through this. Um, and number two, I think that one of the biggest problems with when you find out that your loved one has it, if you're not living with them, if you're not seeing them all the time, we have our own lives. We work, we get busy, we forget. And sometimes before we know it, it's been a long period of time and we haven't checked on them. And they may be feeling like we don't love them and we don't care about them, and we don't want that to happen, right? So I suggest that you put in weekly reminders in whatever digital format. I use Google Calendar. I'm a big fan. Set up a weekly reminder to do a weekly check-in. Set up your Google Calendar so that you know the important dates. This is surgery date. This is when hopefully they get released. Call them at the hospital if they're in recovery. Um, Send flowers. Do something when they're in the hospital so that they know that you are thinking of them. Um, and yes, set up dates with reminders. Ask them if they're going to have chemo, when their chemo days are. Ask them when they think they'll be done. Try to set up those dates so that you can say, hey, you're halfway done with your chemo. Is there any way that maybe I could come over and we could like watch a movie? Maybe set up a lunch date for the end of your chemo. I had a friend offer to come with me for my final radiation. And, I tried really hard to do everything by myself because when my mom went through this, she always made sure someone was with her all the time. And I didn't want to bother anyone. And I remember going, and the nurses would always say, like, oh, you're here alone. You don't have a support person. And I would say, no, I'm doing this by myself and this is fine. It's fine. And I will admit there was a little part of me that was sad that I didn't have anyone there, offering or forcing me to come with me. And other people did. But I was also, happy to watch YouTube videos or listen to podcasts while I was having treatments. But that friend that offered to go with me to the final one because they wanted to watch me ring the bell really meant so much to me. And then she took me to lunch afterwards. And it's just one of those things that sometimes you don't know what you need until someone offers. So I would suggest that you do that for your friends or loved one. And my final tip is don't forget about them. Our treatments in the beginning, I feel like they get the news and everyone's in such shock and they want so badly to help. And they forget that treatment lasts a really, really long time, and that recovery does as well. If you have someone, they don't need to do chemo and they don't need to do radiation, but they do a surgical option, they still need to recover. And sometimes part of that recovery is going for walks with them. Yes, coming to their house and bringing, I don't know, a treat of some kind and watching a movie and not talking, just coming to give them a hug and leaving their house. There's so many things that you can do that really don't cost you anything, to be there for your friends. But just don't forget, if they are in chemo, if they are in radiation, then the beginning of chemo is not when they need you. It gets worse as you go along, and it's a marathon. And before you know it, you've been sick for half of a year. And that's when you really get sick of being sick and you really need someone to check in on you and see if you're okay and just let you know that they love you. And that is also the time when you're going to need them, if they can do it, to offer to help clean your house, or just to show up on your doorstep with a coffee that you like, or a hug, you know. And let them tell their stories. Let them try very hard to let them tell you what they're going through. Give them a hug when they need it. Try not to uh, pity them if they don't want your pity. Just be there. Be there. And they'll love you and appreciate you for it. And I know it's hard because you have your own life too. Don't neglect your own life. Just be there when you can. Call them sometimes. Send them a text so that they know that you're thinking about them. It's really that simple. It really is. And if you'd like to make them a chemo basket or you just found out you have cancer basket or anything of that nature, I plan to make some videos about actual things that you need when you're going through chemo and how to make a basket that will actually be used instead of something that just gets donated to Goodwill, which sadly we still appreciate it no matter what, but that is what happens to a lot of the products that are given to us in random gifts. So I hope that this video has been helpful, and feel free to ask questions, like, subscribe if you think this is helpful. And I've been a friend with another friend with a cancer diagnosis. I have had my mom diagnosed with cancer and been her caregiver. I have been the person diagnosed with cancer, and it's hard. And I think just that you're out there looking to see how you can help is amazing. I will say that there's a few things that I would advise you not to do. So number one in that is, please, please do not ever insinuate that it is their fault that they have cancer, even if they have done things that have contributed to it, because that does not help them in any way. Don't tell them it's because they ate too much sugar. Don't tell them you're going to help fix their diet and you're going to heal them. Please resist that temptation, because that feels more like you're blaming us for what happened to us. I know in some instances, like with lung cancer, it is related most of the time to them making decisions. But those are their decisions to make, and you chastising them for those decisions is not going to help them get better. It's not going to help them get through it. And that's what you're there for. If you really love them and you're trying to help them, you're there to help them get through it. Let their doctor give them that information. They know that information. Okay. Sending you all love. This is hard. It's hard to go through it. It's hard to love someone and know they're going through it. But we're all in this crazy world together, and we're all going to go through this at some point in our lives. You're not alone.